Day 9 took us from Gorakshep back to Lobuche, where we had lunch, then onwards to Dingboche. Almost 8 miles, some 4.5 hours of moving time, and roughly 2,500 feet of vertical descent. I think the graph gives you a great idea of what the terrain looked like. Had to take one last team photo. Grabbed a panorama for my memory of what we got to experience. A Millie sticker sighting by Sidi.
Umari Mountain, Link Train.
And how tall?
The Umari is 7,100 meter high. The Link Train is 6,700. Changche is 6,500. And that Kumpuchi is 7,800. Lola 6,000 meter. And Nupche 7,800 meter high.
Now who's that peeking behind though? Isn't that?
Behind though is Everest, Mount Everest.
How tall?
It is 8848. Tallest mountain in the world.
Courtesy of Dawa Sherpa, my new best friend. We would say see you soon as Alex and Abigail and Dawa Sherpa would be leaving us in Lobuche to climb Lobuche East. My new friend Mingma Sherpa is now wearing a no-name saloon hat somewhere in the Khumbu region. I love it. Back through the memorial at Tukla Pass went the rest of our team. Ah, the life of the yaks. Dingboche was a very welcome sight. Day 10, it was just Roy and I with Nima, our porter, heading to Namche Bazaar. A long day, 12 miles, 6.5 hours of moving time, and our actual was about 8 hours. But we had vertical gain of 2,743 feet due to the ups and downs to get to Namche Bazaar. The graph has a point in its middle that shows the steep ascent just before the Tengboche Monastery, then a very steep descent after the monastery before another ascent and grind to Namche. This was a tough day. Wang Chu presented me with a beautiful scarf as a sign of friendship and respect. And Sidi got up early to send us off. The sunrise behind iMediafx was again spectacular, as Roy, myself, and Nima began our trek to Lukla. One last wave and thank you to iMediafx. Had to wait for the Zo train before crossing our first suspension bridge. And now the steady, pitchy ascent up to Tengboche. A quick catch our breath and hydrate at the Tengboche Monastery. Now the steep descent to a river crossing. People watch your footing. Many trekkers add Gokyo to their itinerary, and I wish I had. Villages are everywhere dotting the landscape, and everywhere you looked, dahlias were in bloom. Back in Namche, Roy and I grabbed dinner, and the Hotel Namche is fabulous. Yours truly was enamored by the keys at every tea house we stayed at. Hotel Namche had a beautiful dining and gathering area. The beds were beyond comfortable, and the room also had hot showers. Day 11, my final day, was myself and Nima, my porter. Steep descent out of Namche, then crossing the Hillary Bridge, along the river, then past Pakting to Lukla, 11.5 miles, 7 hours plus, 3,179 feet of vertical gain. The graph really gives a nice illustration of how steep it is out of Namche Bazaar, and after a mild continued up and down, you had 4+ miles from Pakting up to Lukla. That was hard. Nima and I left around 7 a.m. One last look back at Namche. Lots of donkeys between Namche and Lukla. This is where, just outside of Namche, you picked up a kilo of plastic garbage. I think this idea is brilliant. Again, prepare for all types of footing. You ever want to know what it's like to cross the Hillary Bridge? 120 meters above the river? Well, here it goes. Glad you're with me. Traffic? More traffic? Stop for those guys. Yeah, there you have it. The Hillary Bridge. So, before you go over the Hillary Bridge, heading to Namche Bazaar, you get to go up these all the way out. Yeah, but fun. Saying goodbye to Sagarmatha National Park. They love their volleyball. It's everywhere. The Sherpa Hospital in the middle of the Himalayas was absolutely beautiful. Did you know, whoops, that you always walk around the prayer rocks to their left, counterclockwise? Yeah, brings good luck. Back in Pakting for a short break, Snickers and water. The donkey trains going back and forth. These porters are just simply amazing. So when is the last time you carried 5 or 6 sheets of plywood on your back? The prayer wheel, the view, and the draft beer sign, priceless. So happy to see this entry structure we passed through some 11 days earlier, as it meant we made it back to Lukla. The Market Street in Lukla. Nima, my porter, who was with me every day. I had a couple of beers at the tea house, and it was bustling with trekkers. I slept well, and while waiting to hear from ProTrek about my heli ride back to Kathmandu, I watched the aircraft land and take off. This plane goes back to Ramachop about a 20-minute flight, but then you have to get in a van for a 4-hour ride back to Kathmandu. Wow, what a beautiful morning. Good morning. Did you have a good night? I hope so. Is that you barking? As I was having a conversation with the dog on the roof, ProTrek reached out and said, "Hurry and get to the heliport." It was not an easy walk. Philippe, my pilot from Switzerland, was waiting, and I got to sit in the front left seat. I said Dhanibad, which is thank you in Nepalese, to Lukla, as we took off. As we left Lukla and watching out the window of the heli, seeing the villages and the homes dotting the mountains, I had the chance to reflect on the entire adventure. From the time I thought about it to booking the trip, the flight, all the training the real Millie and our friends helped me with, to boarding my flight and then meeting our team. What an experience. Yes, as the cliche goes, something like, getting to your goal is great, but the journey along the way is just as good. I can tell you with all certainty, people, that this trek to Everest Base Camp, from the moment you arrive in Lukla and begin your trek, you experience the terrain, the people, the children, how they live, the animals, and all the beauty and majesty of the Himalayas. One can always wonder about or talk about doing something, but if all you do is wonder and talk, you'll never do it. Make something happen. Get out of your comfort zone. Get out there and enjoy. I guarantee it will reward you more than you will ever imagine. Damn, I look good. This was my ride. The hotel bed was a very welcome sight. Some of our team on their way back came across Millie stickers. Nero and Weng Chu yucking it up back in Lukla.
Millie's here.
I got some good growth. Much of our team now back at Hotel Barahi. Next morning, had a huge breakfast, then chilled with our group by the pool, waiting for my flight. Those of us back from the trek had dinner, received our certificates, and then it was time for me to leave.